Good morning. She's a bad mama jamma. Mm, mm, mm. Just as fine as she can be. Ow! Woo. You remember that song? Let me tell you something. That song has been around for a minute. It originated in the South. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Hey, thanks for being with me today. Thanks for joining me in Cooking with Lady D. I'm glad to have you. Wear my specs so I can see. All right, hope all is well. I'm so good to have you today. Today's a good day, baby. Today's a good day. What we're making today, we're going to be making butter pecan cornbread. Butter pecan cornbread. Oh, yeah. It's going to be delicious. Before we get started, if you haven't done so already, please make sure you invite your friends as well to go to my YouTube page. You get there by going to Google, typing in Cooking with Lady D. My link will come up, and please subscribe and like. In addition to that, I'm on Facebook and Instagram. How you guys been? Honey, it was chilly last night. Oh, yeah. What? Yes, the chill was on, so that told me this is cornbread season approaching. So, such as that means I need to get up in that kitchen and put together some cornbread. So let's do it. Today we're doing, once again, butter pecan cornbread. So as always, I like to go over the ingredients that we're going to be using, all right? So for starters, I have here cornmeal. 2.5 cups of regular cornmeal. I have 2 eggs, 1 cup of regular milk, a half cup of sour cream, a half cup of heavy whipped cream. I have butter here, 1 stick in this bowl, another stick of butter in the other bowl. So that's 2 sticks of butter. I have a half cup of pecans. I have a 1/4 cup of Karo syrup. We have a teaspoon of cinnamon, 2 tablespoons of vanilla extract, 1 teaspoon of almond extract, and we have a cup of chopped up pecans, okay? So I chopped them up. We're going to add that as well. So this is what we have for our ingredients, all right? So now we're about to get started. Okay, so what I did, I went on ahead and I melted 1 stick of butter. We had 2 sticks of butters. I melted 1. So this is what we're going to do for starters. This is a very, very simple thing to make. Butter pecan cornbread. All of these ingredients are ingredients that most people would already have in their house, especially if you're from the South. Okay, these are just natural ingredients that's normally in the refrigerator. What we're going to do first, we're going to take our bowl. This is another empty bowl I had here. And we're just going to put a few ingredients in there. Let's start with the cup of milk. I'm going to pour that cup of milk in that bad boy. Then we're going to take the sour cream, add it to the milk. Oh, yeah. We're adding that sour cream to the milk. Next, we're going to add the heavy whipped cream to the milk. There we go. All right, we're going to stir that around a bit. So in this bowl, we have a cup of milk, half a cup of sour cream, half a cup of heavy whipped cream. That's what we have in the bowl. We're going to stir that around. Let that mix in a bit. All right, now to this, we're going to go ahead and add the other ingredients. I'm going to go ahead and add the teaspoon of almond, the 2 tablespoons of vanilla extract, and I'm adding the cinnamon. So now this is our wet mixture, aside from the eggs. I'll stir that around a bit here. Yeah, honey, I came on singing that song, She's a Bad Mama Jamma. The first time I heard that song, it was in South Carolina. I was hanging out with my cousin Sally from Bishopville, South Carolina. Woo, woo. This was years ago. I think it was like 1981. My mom is from Bishopville. My dad is from Sumter. Every year we would go down there in the summer. So when we went down this year, I was grown. I was grown. When we went down, when that song, She's a Bad Mama Jamma, came out, I was grown. So, hey, I was able to go and hang out at the club with my cousin Sally and a few other cousins. And yes, I did. I heard that song and I was like, what? Because I was from New York. So they weren't playing that song at the time. I never heard of it. Honey, everybody was jamming. They was doing it. They was doing it. I was trying to do it too. All right. So we have the wet mixture together. I'm going to now bring over the cornmeal, and I'm going to take the butter. It's softened already. Put that on the cornmeal. I'm just going to like mash it in there. Get that butter up in that cornmeal. After all, it is butter pecan cornbread. So you got to have some butter in there quite a bit. And you better have some pecans. Otherwise, you ain't doing nothing. Well, after that summer visit, I came back home to New York, to Queens. And I was telling people, I was asking, did I miss it? Did I miss it on WBLS? Did Frankie Crocker play She's a Bad Mama Jamma? They didn't even hear of it. Then I learned that many of the songs, R&B, are released first in the South, as well as many of the dances started from the South, as well as many of our great leaders came from the South. Hey, read your history book. Sit down with somebody that got wisdom. Let them teach you a little bit. Let me clear that up. If you're going to sit down with somebody just because they in their 50s, 60s, or 70s, don't mean they have wisdom. We got a lot of old fools out here too. So make sure that they lived a life a certain way. An old proverb once said, you will sit when you're old, or where you sit when you're old will depend on where you stood when you were young. Hey, you better take heed, because it's going to show on you. All right, so I incorporated that butter into the cornmeal. So it's almost like a little crumble. But she's getting ready. She's getting ready. The next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take the melted butter. And I'm going to add that melted butter into the pecans that were chopped up. Again, why? Because it's butter pecan cornbread. Come on. Out of every bite, you should be able to say, man, this is some good butter pecan cornbread. So I mixed that up, all right? So this is ready. So we have the wet mixture ready. We have the pecans and butter ready. Now we need to get our eggs ready. So I'm just going to go ahead and whisk these 2 eggs up. Whisk it. There we go. This is a real quick dish to make. It doesn't take a lot, and it's really good. All right. So now that that's been whisked up, the eggs, we have everything ready. Now we're ready to incorporate it all right? So we're going to go ahead and start with the wet mixture. We're pouring that over that cornmeal. Gonna stir that in and stir that up. Oh yes, oh yes. It does not take long. No, I did not shift the cornmeal prior to putting it in the bowl because it's cornbread. So it should have somewhat of a coarse feel, a cornbready feel, because it's not a cake. And as you also see, I didn't add any sugar because it's not a cake. It's cornbread. Next thing we're going to go ahead and do, we're going to add our eggs in. The eggs will help for this to bind well. All right, the eggs are in. Going to stir that around. Make sure you can see. There we go. You're stirring that in that mix there. Man, oh man. This is going to be good. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. And finally, before we put it in our baking pan, of course, we have to add the pecans that are in the butter. And we're going to go ahead and stir these pecans around in here. This is going to be something good. This is going to be absolutely delicious. The holidays are approaching, you guys. Hey, get ready. Stay tuned to Lady D. Stay tuned to Cooking With Me. Man, we got pecan pies coming up, sweet potato pies, coconut custard pies, butter cake, coconut cake, a whole list of good stuff. All right. So now I have a pan. This is our baking pan. It's about a 9-inch baking pan. I'm going to go ahead on and spray it. Let's see here. All right. I'm going to spray it with some butter. And then I have about a tablespoon of cake flour. I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit around the bottom of the pan so this baby can come up really easy without sticking. Going to just shake it around so it can be on the sides too. But I'm not too worried about it being on the sides because we can always take a knife and take it off from the sides. All right. Now we are pouring it in the baking pan. I tell you. What I tell you. Okay. And there we have it. It's ready for the oven. It's ready for the oven. So since it's ready for the oven, I'm going to take the other half cup of pecans and just place them around the top. Just for decor, just so it can look cute like you be looking so cute all the time. There we go. I'm going to tell you something. Ain't nothing like Southern food. There's nothing like Southern food. And you know some of you high sedity people. You high sedity people who feel like, oh, I'm not from the South. Okay, well, let me ask you a question. Where your mama and daddy from? Where your auntie and uncle from? Where your grandma, grandpa from? If they from the South Kakalaki, North Kakalaki, Georgia, Mississippi, Alabama, and a few other places, and they just happen to migrate to the north, like tens of thousands have done back in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, just for a better living. And just because you born in the north, you still country. You still from the South. It's in your blood. I know because it's in my blood. I wasn't born in the South, but guess what? The South is all up in me. Yes, it is. And I'm proud to say that I, too, am a Southerner. All right, so the pecans are around. Now, you guys remember the corn syrup? I'm just going to drizzle some of the corn syrup a little bit over each of the pecans. Just a little bit. Nothing big. The oven has been preheating at 350. I am going to raise it to 375. And I'm going to put this butter pecan cornbread in there. And we're going to check on it in about 40 minutes. Is that cool? 40, shorty. 40 minutes, okay? And then we're going to come right back and see what's going on. Now, why did it come out so good? All right, it's ready. Let me just show you. I guess you can see it. Sometimes when I bring it close to the screen, you can't see it as good. But look at that. You got the butter simmering on the top. Man, oh man. This is some good butter pecan cornbread. Now, let me just go over something right quick. It is cornbread. It is not cake, okay? So we did not add sugar, so you shouldn't be looking for a cake taste. But cornbread, you should be looking for a cornbread taste, not a Jiffy in the box taste, but a homemade Southern cornbread. Man, if you cook a meal and you have some type of gravy over whatever meal you have, and you take this, a bite of this here and dump it in that gravy, good God Almighty. Or you just eat it by itself. And if you just want to eat it by itself, another thing you can do is sprinkle some confectionate sugar over it. And hey, flavor up. All right, we're going to go ahead and plate this. We're going to taste it. So just hang tight. All right, you guys, let's do this. I plated mine, honey. I plated mine. What I have is a slice, a nice slice. Yes. Of my cornbread, butter pecan cornbread. And then I put together a little cup of hot or warm apple cider with 2 cinnamon sticks. Child, please. This is going to be on and popping in a minute. Now, what I am going to do with mine, because I'm eating it solo, I have some butter pecan syrup. Oh, yeah, because I don't have a meal with gravy. So I'm just going to take a little bit of syrup, just a little bit. And I'm going to drizzle some syrup over mine. There we go. And I'm about ready to go in. So let me just share. It did take about 45 minutes on 375 for the cornbread to cook. Of course, every oven may be different, so please check your oven. I took the toothpick, stuck it in, bored it out. It was cooked. All right, you guys ready? Let me say cheers. Here we go. We're going to try this right now. I need to be sitting down. But I'm not sitting down. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and take a bite. Did I go laughing again? I can taste it as a cornbread. The butter, the pecans. Oh, this is so good. This is so good. It's good with the syrup that I put on top of it. I did sprinkle a little bit of confectionate sugar over it. Did y'all see what I did there? I just did sort of like that. A little bit like that. Because I'm eating it solo without a meal. And now y'all know I got to take another bite. Grandma has done it again. Grandma has done it again. So now if you're having a dinner and you create some type of meat with gravy, let me tell you something. This is everything. Yes, it is. You take it, dump it in that gravy. And you know I can stand here and talk to y'all all day. Thank you so much for being with me. Don't forget, continue to follow me. YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. This is good. Let me take a sip. This apple cider is good too with this cinnamon stick in it. Until next time, enjoy life, peeps. See you soon.